Welcome to Wheelsboy. I'm Ethan, the host you know.
And I'm Jonathan, the host you don't know.
Jonathan is our new host slash editor slash videographer, and he's going to help me to help you to understand what's happening in the Chinese car market.
Yeah, starting with the Lego Defender.
iCAR V23.
Welcome to Wheelsboy, where we cover the newest, coolest, and wildest vehicles from the Chinese car market. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell.
iCAR is a sub-brand from the Chinese automaker Chery, a company better known for its rather generic SUV offering. The concept for the iCAR V23, however, actually came from a team who used to work on the Xiaomi product ecosystem and partnered with Chery to build it. No wonder it looks and feels almost nothing like a Chery. But this is way better than the 03. The car that looks like it was designed in Roblox.
Yes, this, as you pointed out, looks like a Lego Defender, maybe a toy G-Wagon. I love the fact that from the front, because it's got this combination of 2.735 meter wheelbase, but a 4.22 meter length, aka pretty long wheelbase for such a short car, you can actually see the tires from the front, which is like very classic off-road vehicle. I do have to point out though, that is something you can do on the stock car, but the owner of this car, from whom we rented it, also added spacers about that wide in the front and even wider in the back to exaggerate the look.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really love this sort of retro throwback to the traditional 4x4, but with this really futuristic LED cyberpunk looking light.
Jonathan, have you noticed the fact that we're actually able to place our hands on this vehicle despite the fact that it's hotter than the surface of the sun out here? That's because it's plastic almost everywhere. Oh, the doors are metal. Also, this thing has no frunk because you cannot open this. It's not a hood, it's a front compartment cover unless you're at like a dealership. But do me a favor, touch that black thing there.
Wow, this is where you put the washer fluid in.
Correct.
Wow. Ethan, we cannot neglect to mention this really, really cool aftermarket light.
Are you referring to the aftermarket light that we can't figure out how to turn on despite hitting every single possible button?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It looks cool.
Yes. The profile, classic 4x4, very upright, very square, great stance, as in the distance between this tire and this awesome extended fender is really good. And the proportions, like wheelbase to body length, reminds me of nothing more, despite being a four-door, than the Defender 90, the two-door Defender, which is my favorite SUV.
Yeah, and the wheels. These are very smart 21-inch alloys. However, my favorite are the Steelies. What do you think?
Yes, the base car does have those Steelies, and I think that those Steelies look more like a 4x4 wheel. And if you wrap them in some all-terrain tires, they would look even meaner, even if it would destroy the range. So this thing, just like the iCAR Roblox 03 and the Fengchengbo Tai 3, has a sort of backpack lunchbox storage area here on the tailgate.
But how do you open this on the outside?
You don't. You can only do it by opening the tailgate itself, which we will do in a moment. First, there are two things I want to talk about. One, what do you think about this?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. I love the brake light LED on the left, and it's got this very nice V23 logo on the back in chrome.
Yeah, they love the name V23, don't they?
Yeah. What does the V stand for?
I don't know. I don't know what 23 stands for. I just know that they put it all over the car. They got it on the side. They got it here. They got the badge right there. And lest we forget, yes, we have also noticed the Ontario province license plate on the back of this. Again, this is a private car that we rented from somebody. And I'm guessing they used to live in Canada and they kept this from 2016 just as a little memento. Beautiful. Want to give a big shout out to our friends in Ontario, eh?
Okay.
Jonathan, would you do the honors?
Certainly.
234 liters of space behind the second row, laid at second row down 744 liters.
It's not the biggest, but it's square and it can hold quite a lot of things.
Yes, I think that shape does mean you can put a ton of stuff in here. Also, you've got some underfloor storage, which the owner of this car has filled with a whole bunch of junk, including, yes, Jonathan, construction helmets we will now wear, and even more excitingly, an official iCAR V23 Owners Club Frisbee. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I'm thinking what you're thinking.
Let's go. Jonathan, would you do me a solid and pop open the safety box as it's labeled, please?
Certainly.
Look at that. That's a pretty decent amount of extra space, right?
Yeah, it's got plenty of space. You could put your lunch in here to avoid having all the smells come into your car.
Something I would normally use a frunk for, but guess what this car doesn't have?
A frunk.
Correct. What we do have right now, though, is excessively sweaty faces. So why don't we talk about the interior?
Yeah. So, no instrument cluster.
Correct. No heads-up display either, right?
Right.
So, only on the screen, Tesla style, which I don't love on Teslas because it's obviously something they do to cut costs, but Teslas aren't actually cheap. But on this car, I find it completely acceptable because guess what?
What?
This car's actually cheap.
How cheap, Ethan?
I think the official prices are about 15 to 21,000 USD.
Buttons, but they're not actually buttons.
Yes, they look like they should be buttons on the steering wheel, but they're not. It's just you know what I call those?
What do you call them?
Mystery nipples. That's what yeah,
Seriously?
I call them on the car, and the mystery nipples that you see on all these EVs, because you don't really know what they do, and they don't really bother to tell you. Speaking of not having things, it also doesn't have a glove box.
Oh, well, although it doesn't have a glove box, you've got plenty of space in this central console here. So, for example, if you lift this part up here, you'll find space inside.
Oh.
And then where your phone is sitting, you've got like a nifty little area here where you can put your cable through to attach it to the car.
Useful because this is not a wireless charging pad, is it?
No, it's an NFC detector.
Okay.
And if you look here at the bottom, you've not 2, but 3 cup holders in a modular center.
Ooh. Ooh, we could adjust it. So, for example, if I was to take this car to America and get a 64-ounce drink from 7-Eleven, I could easily fit it right there in the middle.
I have no idea what a 64-ounce drink is. But not only that, if you took this part out too, underneath, you've got another hidden storage.
Nice. Who needs a glove compartment?
Well, not only that, but I've left you a very special gift underneath your chair. Check it out.
It's underneath my chair. Oh, there's a drawer. Oh my God, wet wipes. How did you know?
And if you think that's awesome, look, I've got one too.
All right, I forget a glove compartment. This is way better. It's practical. Like you said, there's a lot of different storage spaces. You've also got like nets on the doors and stuff. And I also just think that the overall style is really nice. What do you think?
Well, I have to say that I absolutely love the colour. Being a 10-year veteran in the Air Force, green is fantastic, and it just suits it so well.
It does. It literally works with this car's identity as kind of like a off-road looking vehicle, at least. My favorite part of the interior, though, apart from the drawers, of course, is the center console has these awesome physical knobs and toggle switches. What do they do?
Well, this one on the left here is my favourite, obviously. It's the drive mode. The one on the right of it, which you don't often see this in a lot of Chinese-made cars, is actually the volume button.
A physical volume. Let me just enjoy this for a moment. Yes, that's nice. And it hit the center, as I suspected. It's a mute button. You don't get that a lot, as you pointed out. Chinese cars these days, everything's in the screen, so physical buttons are at a minimum, and therefore my annoyance is at a maximum.
Exactly. And then as standard, you've got your air conditioning and your fan speeds as well.
Okay, I love it. I love it. And then finally, there are some other physical buttons I want to talk about, which is the ones up here on the roof, including these 2 toggles here. So we've got aux 1, aux 2. That's going to bring us back to the conversation we had on the exterior where you've got that black little box thing. And that black little box, you can take the cover off and you can add like an additional light or something like that. Theoretically, Jonathan, this would also be used to control the light on the roof. Now, We've experimented with this. Does it actually control the LED on the roof?
It doesn't.
No.
Sorry.
It doesn't do anything to do with that. So we still do not know how it is you're supposed to turn that on, if indeed it is possible. But I like them. What do the ones on that side do?
Oh, well, I think these ones are all your interior lights here. So the one on the left is your front interior light. But this one on the right of it is your rear interior light.
Show me. Whoa. Oh. Now do the front. The cameraman probably would have appreciated that light, really. He's kept telling us how dark it was inside of this car because it's a cloudy day. We probably should have had that on the entire time. Center screen, large. It's also got an A155 processor. Response speeds, pretty darn quick for some car, like in this price point. It actually feels pretty good. I never had any problem navigating the menu. I do speak and read pretty fluently Chinese, so we're going to have to... This one doesn't have an English menu, so we're improving your Chinese slowly but surely. I trust you. The other menu I wanted to point out was the one you can read.
Yeah.
Which is, this has got a little menu here for, obviously, off-roading. It's got your pitch, roll, tire pressure. It's got a compass, and it's also got a, what is this word for Chinese? Haiba. Oh, altitude. And so what's funny about that, and the reason I was joking you can read it, is that for some reason pitch and roll are in English.
Yeah.
They don't have them in Chinese, and there are Chinese words for those. So I'm not entirely sure why they did that.
But this is my favorite part of it. But the second most favorite part of the screen is if you take a look on the left here at the actual vehicle, and see you've got this really, really nice rendering in the actual colors. But not only that, if I stick my foot on the brake, oh, check that.
Brake lights light up.
Not only that one, but you can take your front. And we've tested this previously before, but if we open the door, it actually opens up all the doors, including
and
the boot.
Including the boot. And what's interesting is, like, I've seen this on more expensive Chinese cars, but this is a really cheap car. And to commit to making that high quality of a rendering is actually pretty cool to see. I actually really like that. Is that our actual license plate? Just got the cameraman to go check. It actually renders the license plate as your actual license plate. That's really cool. I have never seen that before. We are doxing this owner's car a little bit, but yeah, whatever.
We will
not blur it out. Nobody's gonna do anything. People are always telling me that, like, don't you want to cover up the owner's license plate? I'm like, why? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Anyways, but it's really cool, and I have never seen that before. As someone who's reviewed hundreds of Chinese cars, I've seen some pretty questionable English slogans. But I gotta say, the little plaque here where they've written "Born to Play," I like that, actually. I think it actually fits with this car's, I don't know, small city funky SUV vibe.
And if you look really closely, it's been held on by 2 torque screws.
Isn't it? Oh! Which fits with the rest of this car because there's a bunch of torque. There's actually a ton of torque screws in here, right?
And there is.
This plate here that's holding on the knobs, that's torque screws in the middle. And then the one I really wanted to show you, behind the center screen back there's a little dish area where you can put a phone, basically, or maybe like the card for you going to a toll station or something. But in each corner is larger torque screws, and if you take those out, what you basically have is a mounting point for something like this. So this is a thing you can buy from iCAR, and it is a metal, which is pretty high quality, phone mount, and so it screws into that, and so you have like a really stable, really nice magnetized phone thingy. Pretty sweet touch.
Very, very cool.
I'm actually really excited for this rear seat segment because we finally have somebody who is not below average height, but above average height. So how do you, at 6'1", or what is it, 1.85 meters? Is that what it is?
That's right, 185.
How do you feel in the back seat?
Yeah, fantastic. Like, this is probably the most headroom ever.
What about leg lean?
Yeah, this is great. I mean, I can move, and not having this part in the center, you know,
right.
that's again, that's a new thing for me.
The flat load floor. The flat load floor is super nice in all of these EVs. Yeah, I really think that the space in this back seat is really well done. It helps that it's so square and so tall. If you look at the design of this rear seat, you would think that there's only room for 2 people. Well, okay, there is really only room for 2 people comfortably, but technically, if you're willing to sit way too close to somebody, especially on a sweaty day like this, and on top of a hump, with a hump in the middle of your back, you can seat 3 people wide in this car. So where's the seatbelt?
Good question.
You found it. It's in the roof. It's like in some MPVs. And so there are buckles that, receivers that come out from under the right seat and the left seat. And then it goes like this, basically. And then, mess with my mic. And then you can sit here. Now, would you ever want to sit here for longer than, say, I don't know, never? No, you would never want to sit here. So personally, I would advocate never to use the middle seat in this car. So we've got some really clever storage solutions in the front and some pretty cool solutions back here. Obviously, we've got these nets here, which you have on the front doors and on the rear doors. You've also got this kind of thing right here where you should clearly be able to use it to mount some kind of hooks or something. Don't know how that works, but I do know that it's also got the torque screw set up here. That means you could take these out and you could mount stuff. But most exciting is on the roof up here, you've got a plate with 2 torque screws, and I bet if you remove those, you could get a iPad mount. And then all of a sudden, this car that costs $21,000 max has rear entertainment.
Another thing I find quite fascinating is majority of the logos in the whole of this car are very wonky.
Yes.
Right. So they always on an angle.
Yes.
Exactly. There's only one place in the entire car where the actual logo is dead straight. It's right here in the back. I think that's very cool, but what I think is not cool is the fact that we don't have any charging ports here at the back. It's like they just completely forget about you.
Yes.
It's all the actions in the front and they want you to be right there with the driver.
It's it's like a low spec BMW right now.
Yeah.
There are 0 charging ports in the back. The only thing they give you instead of a charging port is just like with that front phone place, like the phone area that isn't a charging pad, they give you a pass through. So right here, you can pass a cable through in order to charge your device. I give cars a lot of guff for only having 1 charge port, so I got to give major negative points on this car for having none. And for the record, there are cars cheaper than this that have at least 1 charging port in the back. It's time to get behind the wheel of the V23. But we are going to need to switch sides because you've never driven here.
But I've been driving for like 15 years.
In the UK. Not in China. You don't even have a Chinese license yet. You just arrived from the airport, remember? So, I will drive this time. Next time. Would you look at that? It's Papa. Hello, Papa. How are you? Are you proud of me?
His lunchbox actually has a tire in it.
Yeah, his lunchbox is actually big enough to hold something. I will say, even though the spacers don't result in quite as much kind of rubbing noises or anything as I expected, I do have a feeling it has affected the steering because, well, I'll put it this way, I hope that the spacers have affected the steering because the steering is honestly not very good. It's really not very good. It's like very elasticy, very rubbery, and the front end, I don't know, it just doesn't feel very natural at all. And so I'm hoping that that can be explained by the spacers, but I have a feeling that the regular car without the spacers probably isn't great either.
Yeah. Speaking of highways, it does have highway NOA, right?
Yes, it does have navigation on autopilot, which is pretty impressive for a car that only costs $15,000 to $21,000. It's not available on every spec. It's an added cost option, but even having it available is pretty cool. Then again, this is China, so it's almost expected at this point in the year 2025. It really does, though, feel very soft. Oh, there we go. See, that's what I was about to bring up. We just went over some tram tracks. This thing, whenever you go over bumps, like the body roll is really big. The nose dive under braking, it raises up under acceleration, which we'll get to in a moment. But the other thing is that when you go over bumps, say you're getting onto a bridge or something like that, it does this thing where it bucks back and forth in a way that honestly reminds me of more serious 4x4s. I don't know if that was on purpose, but I guess they wanted it to be more than just something that looked like a real off-roader. They wanted to ride like a real off-roader too.
Yeah, it looks like I'm nodding constantly, but actually it's just the car. It's the car making me go like this.
This car makes Jonathan extremely agreeable.
Yep.
So this thing comes with single front-mounted motor or dual motor. So this is the dual motor, which means 155 kilowatts and pure powerful acceleration. Go.
Warp 9.
All right, we're exaggerating a little bit of time. It's not that intense. There is no official 0 to 100 kilometer per hour time. There's only 0 to 50. I'll hold on, get ready to buck. And the official 0 to 50 is 3.5 seconds. I don't know, it feels fast enough. What do you think?
Yeah, I really love the responsiveness of this vehicle. I think it's the best way to describe it is it's a spunky vehicle, right?
Yes, it is. It's like this combination of this kind of like little cute 4x4 Lego Defender, but at the same time you hit the throttle and it actually is quick. I mean, for a little driving around the city type car, it's definitely plenty quick. All right, I've been driving around in sport mode because the accelerator response is actually kind of reasonable. Let me see the other ones here. Oh my God. Have you noticed what I just noticed?
Yeah, did that say light off-roading?
Yes. 轻越野, which in Chinese means light off-roading. It doesn't even have a full off-road mode. It just says light off-roading.
So is that like the diet of off-roading?
Yes, that is diet off-roading. Jonathan, would you like to do some Coca-Cola Zero equivalent of off-roading?
Yes, please.
Let's go. The next stop on Wheelsboy's EV Tour is our most beautiful driving route yet, because we are going to China's Sichuan province, including the amazing cities of Chengdu and Chongqing. Yes, there will be pandas, and for those of you with a real sense of adventure, we're offering you the opportunity to extend your journey all the way to Lhasa in Tibet. This event begins in mid-August, so reach out ASAP to tour@wheelsboy.cn to learn more. Now, Jonathan, I don't know about you, but this is what I refer to as diet off-roading. So the suspension, it just confirms what I thought on the road, which is that the suspension is kind of exactly what I would expect from a 4x4, right? It's pretty rough, it's pretty hard, but I'm surprised by how good the damping is. You're allowed to talk now.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just listening. I was just listening.
You think you're watching a video. This guy thinks he's watching it. This guy thinks he's watching a Wheelsboy review. No, you're in it now.
Oh, no, I'm in it. Oh, my God, Jesus. Yeah, no. I was just really enjoying it because, I'm much more used to the loud engine noises of the Land Rover back in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
I'm struggling on the, wet terrain. Here is extremely dry.
This is the driest, as you would call it, green laning that you've ever done in your whole life.
Absolutely. And it's very beautiful as well, I must say. I think that, I've never really experienced this sort of, 4x4 EV before, but actually I'm really enjoying it, just going by the terrain. And I think that the seats as well are they kind of helped cushion you a little bit, especially like
Perfect timing, because you're talking about how the seats hold you and I'm doing this, backing for it. But I agree, yeah, the seats are, the bolstering on the seats is actually pretty good. I give a lot of guff, we'll say, to Chinese seats, to the seats in Chinese cars, because I don't think they're that supportive, especially long term. But we've been in the car for, over an hour now, and I don't have any low back pain, which is borderline a miracle. But yeah, I agree about the electric off-roading. I know some people don't like it because they like the sound of an engine, which I can appreciate. But if your point is to go out into nature and to be relaxed, then the idea of being able to roll your window down, right? I can hear the birds. I can hear the nature. I can hear it. No, and it feels like you're more you're more in nature, and you're able to be more part of it, and you're also not disturbing it, and so I think that's pretty awesome. And as a practical matter, when you're off-roading, the curtain has been pulled back This is a giant truck. Obviously, this road isn't that. This is why we're trying it diet off-roading. If that guy can go down this road, then we should have no problem. Where is he going? But as a practical matter, as we allow this big giant truck to drive away, I've ruined the whole point of being quiet off-roading here because you can hear this giant truck. But as a practical matter, it's also nice when you're off-roading, you want to know what your tires are doing. You want to know what the surface under your car is doing. And if you're off-roading and you can hear what the surface is, so for example, you can hear the rock underneath that front right wheel, oh, that's come loose or something like that. Or, oh, okay, it sounds like that's gravel, it sounds like that's sand. That can be really valuable if you're trying to, do some serious off-roading, which we are not.
Yes, we're doing the diet off-roading.
Yes, diet off-roading, that's what we're trying to do. Diet off-roading, you just have to basically turn the wheel and don't go too fast.
Brilliant. So thank you very much, Ethan. I'm feeling a bit dizzy now. So what say you and I go back and talk a little bit more about this car?
Okay, sounds good. Jonathan, I gotta tell you, we've reviewed quite a few Cherys on the channel. They're gas cars. We've also reviewed the joint venture they have with Huawei. And without a shadow of a doubt, this is the best Chery we've ever reviewed. I absolutely love this thing. I've been looking forward to reviewing it ever since I saw it at, I think it was the Shanghai Auto Show last year, whatever, Beijing Auto Show. I thought it was a concept car. I didn't think they'd actually make it. So when I found out that it was coming to roads, I was delighted.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a really fun, really affordable electric 4x4, then I think it's a great choice. I think, and not just because it's in the army green, and I'm a veteran. It's definitely something that I would consider buying for myself just to have a lot of fun on the weekend. It's definitely born to play.
Yes. Thank you for getting the slogan in there at the end. Also, thank you for joining the Wheelsboy team.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful car to start with. And thank you for having me. And thank you guys as well. And I'm looking forward to doing more in the future.
Yes, I got to warn you, they're not all as fun as this. They're not all as interesting as this either. But we do cover a lot of interesting cars. And some of them, you're going to see Jonathan hosting the videos on his own. Some of them, you're going to see me. Some of them, you're going to see us together. So look forward to all of those. And as always, like, subscribe, and hit the bell.